So this is the Modern Man Tutorials, episode 5. 3 different types of guys by looks. So there's 3 different types of looks. There's the ugly guy, right? There's the average looking guy. And then there's the, her type, or, the hot guy. So there's 3 different types that women tend to lean towards. So let's go first off, just the understanding of a woman will treat any guy that she deems unattractive, aka ugly. Obviously she's going to treat him like shit. She's going to take anything he does as a bad thing, as a disrespectful thing. Even if he says hi, she'll treat that as disrespect. If he says how if he smiles, she'll treat that as disrespect. Even looking her direction, she'll consider it disrespect. Like, how dare this ugly guy not know that I'm out of his league, or I'm beyond his approach. I'm too good for him. Like, he doesn't deserve me, blah, blah, blah. And the list goes on and on of all the very, very judgmental things women do and think of when you see a guy who's not, the best genetically, right? But it's not the guy's fault. You're born the way you are. Now, there are ways to improve yourself, obviously, and we definitely encourage that, guys, to improve yourself. If you look like any of these guys in these random Google images, there are some ways to improve. For myself, I'll use myself. My point of view is, like, if I did look like most of these guys in here, I could say I'm close to this guy right here with the glasses, because I do have the long hair. I shave, so I keep my face nice. I don't have all that acne. I look cooler with glasses than he, but I am a big boy. I am light-skinned. But this will be like the closest to what I currently look like. When I wake up in the morning, I definitely look like this guy down here. As I see myself in the mirror. But yeah. But I kind of look a little bit like Steven Seagal. Best way to put it. So the point is that, there's, like I said, ugly, average, and her type, and based off of how she perceives you, she'll treat you a certain type of way. So if you're average, for example, if you're average, I wanted to say it was like, if I looked if I looked ugly, right, if I was not the best genetically, I would at least try to improve myself in some shape, way, or form. Haircuts, facial hair, skin health. Like I said earlier with the picture of the guy. Let me go back. The picture with the guy with the this guy right here with the whole acne thing. Try to clear that up. Shave the face. Try to get rid of a lot of those hairy patches, because there's like hair in different places on the face, but certain places there's no hair, so like that doesn't look so clean. Put some gel in his hair. His hair is dry. It looks like he didn't put no gel. He didn't brush his hair, so far and so forth. So it's like, try to improve the way you look, because he's not that bad looking. He's just not. He didn't take care of himself to maintain a decent look, so he didn't try to look good, is what I'm saying. Some guys, it's not that you're ugly, it's just you don't try to look your best. That tends to be one of the problems for most guys. Then you got the average guy who does take care of himself, who does try to look their best, and they, that tends to be most average guys. Most average guys try to look their best. And so there you go, average. And guys who are average, they at least get treated a little bit better. They'll still get treated a little bit like the ugly guy, as in, well, since you're not her type, right? She's still going to have some type of disdain for you, right? She's going to treat you a little negatively, because you're not her type. If you are her type, she will let you get with murder, right? That's the extreme. So if you're average, she'll tolerate certain things. She can, you'll smile at her, and she might at least just like kind of smile back or act like she didn't notice you smiled. But if you're ugly and smile, like I said right earlier, if you're ugly and you smile, she will let you know. She wants you to know, and that's really extreme and it's kind of fucked up. But she wants you to know that was unacceptable for you to smile at her. So she'll give you a face. She might yell at you from a distance, like, "What are you looking at?" or some shit like that. Like, she'll try to embarrass you as a punishment, and that's fucked up. All you did was smile, but she wants to punish you. She wants to let you know that was wrong, and it wasn't, right? You're just being a nice, decent human being, but then she showed that she's not that decent of a human being, right? But that's that, right? But if you're average looking and you try to look relatively decent, you'll at least get treated as if she didn't notice, or she might be friendly back but not too friendly, so that way you don't get the wrong idea, right? But if you're her type, she'll goo goo gaga, she'll act like she'll act like a little girl even though she's in her 30s, right? Or 20s, depending. So that kind of stuff. But then if you're her type, right? So like I said, if you're average, she will tolerate certain things. But if you're not, but if you're hot, right, or her type, because the different types of guys per se are considered, a woman's type. Because some women like to say that they have their own type, but on average, 90% of women have the same type. They tend to like a lot of the same guys. So they have the same type, not necessarily they have their own type, but they like to say it that they have their own type, to make themselves, sound special, make them sound like they have they have a unique perspective of what they like. So it almost gives the impression that any guy could be her type, because you don't know what her type is until she says it. But if she says you're not her type, by default, that means you do not meet her standards, right? You're not her type, which makes her type seem pretty unique. But in reality, if you do ask her what her type is and she describes them, you'll be like, describes her type, it's like, oh, that sounds very generic. That's so that a lot of guys can fit that criteria. A lot of guys, not every guy, obviously, but a lot of guys can fit that criteria. So it's not that special, or it is a specific type that's like, yeah, there's only like a few guys on this planet that can meet that can fit that requirement. So your type is an extremely exaggerated thing. Like, let's say her type, when she describes the guy, is essentially Superman, right? Like, literally the character Superman. Like, it's like, okay, you just described Superman, so your type is Superman. And on this planet, there's no Superman, right? There's no guy who can fly, and you got kryptonite is his weakness, and this, that, and there is like, if anything, doesn't Superman already got a woman, Lois Lane? Like, you know what? But that kind of stuff. So, hey, to each their own, right? The point is that if you're her type, there's a lot you can get away with. But since there's three different types of guys, right? Looks wise, obviously it's different levels of difficulty. If you're ugly, the difficulty level is higher, right? It's hard mode. If you're average, you're in normal mode, right? And then if you're hot, easy mode. And that's where you gotta look at it. So if you, as a guy in this world, if you meet these, if you fit one of these criteria, ugly, average, or her type, or hot, whatever you want to call it, then you know what your difficulty level is. If you approach, I mean, obviously you would know if you're ugly, average, or hot, based off of how many times you've been rejected, right? If you approach women and they felt like, you know, they saw a ghost or Freddy Krueger or something, they reacted like, you know, their life was in danger just by you walking their direction, you're more likely not a good guy. If you walk towards a woman's, a direction, and she, acts like, she doesn't act like she's shy or like she's nervous or anything like that. She just acts like, okay, nothing special, just some average guy just walking by. So it's like nothing special, nothing to overreact or to even react. I'll just ignore him. Then you're average. But like I said, if she acts like, like, oh my God, he's coming this way. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. Let me start touching my hair, or let me start looking down on the floor. It's like, why are you looking down on the floor for, right? Right? Because obviously she's trying to avoid eye contact, but then she might start making some eye contact, and she has a smile on her face and this and that. So clearly, that's a dead giveaway that you're her type. So that's how you know that your difficulty levels when it comes to interacting with women in general. What tends to suck sometimes is that you're not every interaction with between a man and woman is with the intent of a relationship or even a conversation. Sometimes an ugly guy can just be getting on the train, or like public transportation, or even just walking the street, just trying to walk a certain direction. And since they got close to a female, she can overreact. Like I said, if he's an ugly guy, she can overreact and say certain things or do certain things, and it's like that's uncalled for, but that does happen, right? So not every interaction when it comes with a female will always be with the intent of it being romantic, right? Of it being a relationship type of thing, or just an approach. Sometimes you're just trying to mind your own business, right? Let's say a woman's at a bar and you're going towards the bar because you actually plan to order and purchase a drink, but because you're walking towards her direction, and if she notices you're walking towards her direction, she might assume that you're trying to approach her, especially if other guys have already tried. Then again, based off of how she acts, the way she behaves, so pay attention. Body language matters. I hate seeing stuff out there like guys acting like they can't tell if a woman likes you or not. And it's like, but it's obvious if they like you or not based off of how they talk. And that's the importance of this video, because the first thing is women are going to judge you by your looks, aka they're going to judge a book by its cover before she gets to know you, right? So she's going to judge you based off your looks. So if she thinks you're ugly, you'll know if she thinks you're ugly. If you're average, you'll know. And if you're her type, you'll definitely know. And that's why I'm explaining it, so you can understand where you stand. Because ugly guys can get women, average guys can get women, and hot guys or her type can get women, obviously, right? It's just the difficulty level varies. But any guy can get with a woman. It just the difficulty level changes. If you're an ugly guy, you have it way harder than an average guy. An average guy has it harder than a her type or a hot guy. That is the difference. In general, women do want men, regardless. Even women who be like, "Oh, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man," they still want dick. Regardless, they still want a man in some shape, way, or form. Whether it's to use him, right, abuse him, and this goes on, right, of all the things women want from men. But the thing is, like, ultimately, women are going to want men, because ultimately, even women, they'd be like, "Oh, I don't need no man for like paying bills and this and that." But let's pretend they don't even need the guy for sex. You still want his attention, because you don't like to be ignored. You don't want to live in this world where you're ignored, right? Where you don't feel special. You want to feel special. Women in general want to feel special. Even feminist women want to feel special. They want attention. Notice that a lot of times when feminists, you know, women, you know, feminist women to be like, oh, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man. They're the one, you know who they're saying this to? They're not saying this to other women. They're not saying this to themselves at home in their apartments or their mansions or whatever. No, they're saying this to men that they meet, telling them that I'm strong, independent, I don't need a man, this, that, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm too out of your league, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're saying this stuff to men. This is why we're saying that women do that. Like, women really be out here talking about they don't need no man, but we see them constantly around men. The same women that be like, oh, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, still go to a club, get in for free, still sit at the bar or somewhere waiting for guys to offer them drinks, and they accept free drinks. But then, like I said, they will retort with the, oh, I don't need no man, blah, blah, blah. I could buy my own drinks and stuff like that. But didn't you just take this guy's drink? Just because you can buy your own drinks, right? That's irrelevant because you didn't. You let somebody else buy you a drink. But then you feel like you don't owe them anything in return, right? Like they're supposed to buy you a drink, but you're not supposed to talk to them and this, that, that. That's for a different conversation, obviously. Point is that, you know, regardless whether I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, or you want a man, either way, you're going to want the man for something. There's something you're gonna want for a man, whether you need him or not. There's still going to be a small percentage that you're going to need a man around at least. So therefore, ugly guys, average guys, and even guys who are her type will still get some attention, some play, as it were. It just depends on, you know, difficulty level of how many of, you know, your chances, right? How many times you will get it. That's the thing. Ugly guys definitely gotta be good at talking, good at behaving. Again, try to make yourself look better. Try to at least look average, right? If you're an ugly guy, at least try to look average. I know it's going to be hard to go from ugly to hot. I know that. It's very difficult, right? Unless you get like plastic surgery and this and that and go to the extreme length to go from looking like a lot of these guys, especially this exaggerated picture over here, it's freaking Photoshop over there, going from that to looking like, you know, any of these guys over here, looking like this guy over here or something. Like, I know that's difficult, not impossible per se, especially with, you know, plastic surgery and whatnot, but you shouldn't need to go that far, you know what I mean? Sometimes difficulty in life builds character, it makes you better. You know, we all, you know, on average, anybody, guy or girl, right, wants to be hot, right? They want to be, you know, attractive. They don't want to be average. They don't want to be ugly. They want to be hot, right? They want to be the best. And there's nothing wrong with that, because why not? It'd be awesome if we all could be the best. Life would be so much easier, right, if we were all hot. But that's not how reality works. In reality, you have ugly guys, average looking guys, and super hot guys, whatever you want to call it, right? So you know, the thing is, guys who tend to be super hot and whatnot tend to not be so great personality-wise. Guys who are extremely ugly tend to have really, really nice personalities, really sweet, generous personalities, but their ugliness is their kryptonite, right? Is their weakness, it's the balance, right? They're extremely ugly, therefore they're extremely nice, because, you know, they don't have the privilege of being an asshole because they're ugly, right? A guy who's relatively hot can't afford to be an asshole because he's hot, right? And an average guy tends to be moderate. You know, he tends to go between, you know, being an asshole or being a nice guy. So, you know, there's that. That's why it's weird that most average guys don't get the respect that they deserve, because it's like an average guy is just one step down from your type or a hot guy. An ugly guy is two steps down, so it's a lot harder. But an average guy at least is one step away from, you know, being your type. You know, some guys are just like, yeah, they're just fat, but if they exercise and get in shape, they'll be hotter. Like, I go back here, use this guy right here. Like this guy, if he exercised, got in shape, and got rid of the acne, shaved his face, and gelled his hair, got some better looking glasses, he would be, considered at least, average attractive, or maybe considered hot, depending on the female. But that is the interesting thing with the fact that some people, don't put in the effort that they should to increase their chances. Some guys stay on the ugly difficulty level, right? And some guys stay on the average difficulty level, right? Even though they could go up one level, at least one. It's hard to go up 2 levels, but you could at least try to go up 1 level, right? So yeah, try to figure out what your difficulty level is, whether you're ugly, average, or hot. Because again, that's just look wise, you know what I mean? Because that's going to be a factor. You got to remember that you don't see yourself as much. Like an ugly guy does not see himself as ugly. The world sees that he's, that he doesn't look the best, but he doesn't see that. Unless he looks at a mirror, then he sees it. He doesn't see that. That's why you have women out here, their faces are not the best, their body is definitely not the best, but they're out here talking about their 10s and their 20s and stuff, and like they're the best, hottest woman in the world. Is like, have you seen yourself though? You know what I mean? Lately, I've gotten that statement twice. Not exactly like that, but it was kind of worded in a way that it implied that the idea of like, I said something and a female, wanted to, because apparently I must have hurt her feelings, and she wanted to be childish and retort with the, have you looked yourself in the mirror? I got that comment once, and I got the, I know you not talking comment, but it's like, but the funny thing is, it wasn't direct. It wasn't like, there was one comment where it was like somebody said I was an old white fat guy or some shit like that, but they didn't say I was ugly. They just said I'm an old fat white guy. One, I'm not white. I'm light skinned, yes, but I'm Puerto Rican, but I'm not white. Yes, I'm fat. Like I said, I use this image so you can see, like, this guy, I relatively, like, when I see him, he kind of looks like me. I'm I'm cuter than this, but you get my point. It's like, I kind of resemble that guy. So that was the thing. So it's like, I'm exercising and whatnot right now and improving myself, trying to get my sexy back. But that's the point. It's like, if a woman sees me as average, well, by me working out this, that, and third, and taking care of myself, I can at least go from average to, hot, or her type, as it were. But at least so far, I haven't gotten ugly. That's what I haven't gotten so far. So it's like, okay, I'm not ugly, but I'm at least average. So at least I know that's my difficulty level, right? Now, when I was younger, definitely I was cuter, hot, or whatever, because even some women nowadays, when they see some of my pictures of when I was younger, they really like, they like, they notice there's a big difference between when I was young to now, like, the differences. And it's like, well, duh, I was young. Of course, I'm going to be, cuter as a kid and adorable because, I'm a kid, right? Kids are adorable, right? Or, but, when you get older, certain things change. I got, I'm bigger in many ways, but I still have a lot of my, good features. I got nice eyes, lips, and stuff like that. Like, I got certain features that, women do like. The thing is, I am, on the plus size right now. So if I, lose weight, thin out, have my face, start thinning out, get my body, back in shape. I'm relatively tall. I'm 5'11", so I'm pretty much up there with most women's criteria. Some women probably think I'm 6 feet tall. So most women want guys who are 6 feet. So that puts me on easy mode right there. I make good money, and I'm definitely working towards making more and more and more money. So I notice a lot of women see that. They see my ambition as a word. They like to say that word ambition. So they see the potential for me to have lots and lots of money, which is my goal, of course. And so those are two things going for me. I'm tall. I got a lot of money, a lot of money, and I'll make money, or I'm ambitious. I'll use that word. And, I'm not ugly. I haven't been told I'm ugly, right? But I do get treated like I'm average. So sometimes I get treated more than average, but on average, I get treated average. But sometimes I do get treated more than average, right? So when it comes to females, my difficulty level is normal or easy. So lucky me, yay, good genetics from my mom, right? So I don't be having as much trouble with women as most guys do, which is why I give tips and tricks and help with understanding, try to figure out like why most guys have trouble with women. A lot of times it's talking, sometimes it's not that the guy looks bad or anything. He might be average, yes. Because if he was hot, then he would have no problem. But if he looks average, it's usually how he behaves that makes him feel, right? Makes him come off as being ugly. So sometimes the way you present yourself, through your behavior, some women like to say confident, right? So some guys don't act confident. And if they don't act confident, then that makes them less hot, right? Less attractive, makes them ugly. So a guy with no confidence is ugly. A guy with confidence is hot. So an average guy with confidence will come off to a woman as her type, right? A hot guy. So a guy that's why a lot of women say stuff like, oh, an ambitious guy, a confident guy, a guy with confidence and stuff like that. It's like, okay, confidence. Most guys do have confidence. Not every guy is like scared or insecure or fearful of human interaction. Not every guy is, not confident. Granted, there's guys who are more confident than others. You have to understand, I'm gonna say this is very important to understand. Women like fake shit. And it's weird. Women love fake shit. They're addicted to fakeness, and that's unfortunate. That's why a bad boy acting nice gets a lot of women, because women like the fakeness. Whether they know it's fake or not, either way they like it. They tend to attract to fakeness. A guy pretending to be something he's not, right? So that's where the whole confidence. A guy who acts like he's, successful and hot and desirable. A guy who acts like that, aka confidence, right? Basically being fake, pretending, basically acting like you're God's gift to women, makes women act like you are God's gift to women. It's like, what? But he's acting, right? He's not actually God's gift to women, but because he's acting like God made him specifically for all the women on the planet, y'all love it. Y'all throw y'all panties at him. I mean, your pussies at him. Like, okay. And that's where, that's where the confidence is. Like, and that's all it is. It's like women want guys to act like they got, like you're the most awesomest guy in the world. They don't want you acting like you're a loser. They want you acting like, like every other guy is better than you. They want you to act like you're the best guy to ever exist. They want you to fake it until you make it, right? That kind of concept. That's why they'll be like, oh, I'll date a guy who's broke. As long as he's ambitious, it's A-okay. It's like, so you want him being broke, you don't like him because he's broke, right? You'll tolerate, you'll accept the fact that he's broke. It's like, you'll understand that he's broke right now, but since he's ambitious, that means he will try not to be broke anymore. So that's why you're giving him a shot, because you want him not to be broke, and that's what you care about the most. It's like, well, that's unfortunate that matters to you more than the person themselves, but all right, whatever. Teach them. So that's why, like I said, fakeness, right? A guy who's ambitious is more appealing than a guy who's not ambitious. So, because here's the thing, you could literally make good money, but if you're not ambitious, then a woman will not will not like you as much, or she'll stop liking you because it's like, okay, yeah, the money you make is good, but why not make more? If you can, why not? And they'll see it as disrespect that you don't want more because they do want more, you know? Now I'm going to say it. Women are selfish. Women are greedy. Women want to have the cake and eat it too. Women have the abundance mindset. They care about quantity more than quality. They want both though. If they can get quantity of quality or quantity of quality, then they'll take both. That's the thing. Women want their cake and eat it too. Men understand you can't have your cake and eat it too. That you have to choose one or the other. But women don't believe in that. Women hate that idea. They want both. They want the cake and to eat it too. So that's where you get into these types of dynamics. Where it's like, okay, well, if you're an average guy, you better act confident, right? Because that will make you hotter if you are. But if you're average and act like no woman wants to fuck you, then you by default make yourself ugly. Even though you're average, you're a relatively good looking guy, but because you're acting like you think you're ugly, you think you're not attractive, then she will feel that way. Again, right? Back to what I said, right? Feeling, you hear them saying feeling, right? She's gonna feel that you're not attractive. Even though she can see that you're a good looking guy, but the way you're acting, it makes her feel that you're not a good looking guy. Because if you don't believe you're attractive, then she doesn't believe you're attractive. Just like if you don't believe you're worth $1 million, she's not going to believe you're, feel that you're worth $1 million or this and that. Women, make decisions based off of their feelings. It's always definitely a weakness, but it's how they function. So, like I said, if you're ugly, you're going to give her negative feelings. So you got to find a way to try to fix that, right? Try to mitigate the negative feelings. You got to make her try to feel good. At least make her feel like you're an average guy. No one wants to be ugly or feel ugly or get treated ugly, right? Or be looked at as ugly. Women definitely hate the idea of anyone thinking they're ugly. But, if you're not that attractive, try to make yourself more attractive. Having money is one way. Having clout, like everyone knows who you are, and the list goes on and on of different ways you can try to make yourself appear better. So this will be the end of this. I don't want to keep repeating myself per se. You get the idea that if you're ugly, you need to try to work to improve yourself in some shape, way, or form to try to at least be average. You have you want to increase. You want to decrease your difficulty level. You want to bring it up to normal. Being average. And if you're average, try to boost yourself up to easy mode, right? Being her type. Yeah.